Okay, we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan? Here. Councilperson Logan?
Here.
Councilperson Massey?
Here.
Mayor Person Aldridge?
Here.
Councilperson Brown? Here. Mayor Bradley?
Here. The invocation tonight is going to be given by Zach Stevenson, student pastor of Argo Christian Fellowship.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you. We thank you for your love and for your grace. God, we ask that you would bless our mayor and all of our council members and every individual in here. Lord, that you would lead this meeting, that you would grant wisdom and guidance, and that this would be the greatest city that it can be. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have the approval of the minutes of 2/12/18. Has everyone had a chance to look at those?
There was a couple very minor things. One minor thing, and that was on the third page in the bottom paragraph. It says Mayor Bradley said Mayor Howard from Springville had one talking about the reports to the collection agency, and I think that was Chief Harvey.
Correct.
Or Mayor Isaac, whoever it was you're talking to.
It was Chief Harvey. Did anyone find anything else? That's awesome.
Motion to approve after that's amended.
I had a problem with where the comments that I made, and I came up and got a copy of the recording from Casey. But I got here too late and I didn't have a chance to go over all of it,
So do you want to wait until the next meeting?
to wait until
Do
then.
you draw your vote?
I'll withdraw.
Okay, is everyone okay with tabling this? Roll call, please.
She made
She
the
made
motion,
motion.
I second.
Okay, I'm sorry, mister.
Councilperson Cowan?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Person Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Okay, next we're going to have Chief Platts. We're going to have John Songer. Would you come up front, please? Chief Platts.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to come up here and do this tonight. Back in '93, I started volunteering with the fire department here, and didn't know a thing about it when I started out. Met Mike. Mike was young, aggressive, and we kind of grew up together. I learned a lot from him. He showed me a lot of the things that he was learning. He was able to pursue it as a career, and was very impressed with the way that he was able to get the classes and get what he needed to be able to do that. Well, about 98 or so, we had some changes on the volunteer side. I was appointed the chief for a period of time there, and which really, we started a transition at that point where we were moving from an all-volunteer group into a paid fire department. And so 2000, we moved paid. I was technically, I really couldn't be the chief anymore. But during that time period, I had Mike. I told the council that I would take the job as a fire chief if Mike could be my deputy chief, because he knew the operations side. I was a businessman, and so we did that. We grew a bit together there. 2000 came time for me to pass on, and I carried the recommendation to the city leaders, town leaders, and asked them to consider Mike as the first paid fire chief for the city of Argo, and they agreed to do that. And a lot of what you see out there now, we can put directly to Mike. His leadership, he built the basis that we needed to have a full-time department. 2, generally 3 folks at least paid on shift. So when you call 911, someone's going to be there. And we've got the proper equipment, the guys have got the proper training with it, and it's just with the leadership that Mike has had back there to put all that together and to make it possible. So with tonight, with kind of the changing the guard here, Mike, we got your help up. And I was asked to be able to present it to you. I'm proud to do that, man. This has been a great time together, and we'll pass that on to you there.
Mike, would you like to say anything?
A lot of time under this helmet. I appreciate the opportunity to serve the citizens of Argo. Had a great bunch of guys working for me and under me. Couldn't have done it without them. Been great to lead a team with the guys I have, or had. And never forget it.
Thank you. Okay, I have a statement I would like to read now. Tonight, I would like to thank former Chief Mike Platts for his service to the city of Argo. He started his career in Argo in October of 1990, became Deputy Chief March 1998, and Fire Chief May of 2000. There's been a lot of changes during his tenure. When the fire department started, it was a volunteer fire department, and now it is both volunteers and paid employees. The fire department as a team has grown. The population of our city has grown. For the department you have built, I thank you, and I'm sure the citizens of Argo would like to also thank you. The contributions you have made to the city and the fire department is greatly appreciated. I would like to congratulate Chief Platt on a successful career in the city of Argo and wish him the best as his journey continues. Thank you, Chief Platt.
Amen.
Next on our agenda is B. Adams with Waste Pro.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having me. It's nice to see all of you. Waste Pro doesn't have any municipal contracts in St. Clair County, so I really wanted the opportunity to tell you a little bit about us. We are the fastest growing privately owned garbage company, one of the fastest growing in the country. We've been doing residential work in Alabama for about 8 years. Our first contract was Jemison down in Chilton County, and in those 8 years we've grown it to 19 municipal contracts in the metro. Locally, we service Aniana, Locust Fork, Allgood, Kimberly. Those are kind of close, but not in St. Clair. We do Talladega County, Shelby County, Bibb County, tons of cities there in between in those counties. And we're absolutely tickled for the opportunity that you may select us as the low bidder to service Argo. It's really exciting for us, and we really, really want to be here. There's a difference in our commercial rate with the other bidder, and if awarded, that is something we can negotiate down and get it more in a lower range. The only issue we have is if you were to award to us, we need at least 6 weeks. We don't have a customer base unless the existing hauler would like to share it with us. So we'll have to use your voter registration, your property tax records, get a card sent out to everybody so that they can either call us or mail the card back in or email us or whatever, sign up on a website so that we know who to deliver garbage cans to. Because not every resident of Argo gets service, is what I understand. So if you were to award us, we do ask that instead of waiting till the meeting at the end of the month, not that you make a decision today, but if you could possibly, if you are going to award to us, call a special session as soon as you make the decision and give us time to do it. The more time we have, the better it is for these folks. You know, to get those cans out, to get those cards out, to make sure all that, how to contact us is on your website and our website and all this stuff. And just to get the carts ordered, because you're going to get brand new carts everything's gonna match, which I think is a really big deal as fast as you're growing residentially. People look at that. They know if you've got old ratty garbage cans and no lids and nothing matches, it irks a lot of people. So it's a great opportunity for new and for matching and for clean. But again, they gotta be ordered. I can't order them without a signed contract. That's kind of why, other than introducing us to you, I'm here to let you know that. And we would just love the opportunity. Absolutely love it. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Does anyone have any questions?
If we approve it tonight, are you gonna be ready May 1st?
Oh, yes, sir. And another option, y'all, I didn't think about this. You could ask the existing provider for a 1-month extension and start June 1.
I was contacted, we got to stick to the rules of the bid. I know one of the other bidders didn't bid it because they said they couldn't be here by May 1st. So we kind of got to put you under fire.
Well, if given, I'm saying like this week, if the decision is made and we can pull the trigger, order the carts, we can get together and get the database and the voter rolls, I can get all that. Oh, I do all that. Unlike all of the garbage companies in this market, I actually do your startup. I'm not just the salesperson who goes to a meeting. I'm responsible for every single aspect of it. I'll build your database. If it's flawed, you know who to blame. I'm really good at it and I really enjoy it, but we can do it May 1, it just needs to happen quick.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Gentry Shows with Advanced Disposal.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am Gentry Shows. I'm with Advanced Disposal. I appreciate y'all having me here. I am the other bidder on the contract. And I'd like to ask everyone to just remember, our long relationship we've had with the town of Argo. We started here in 1995, I believe, and we've been operating since that time without a real contract. And I think that's why the city attorney probably encouraged you to bid it, because it was an emergency contract that was put in place in 1995, and we've been operating under that contract since then. We are a local company. We're right there in Moody. We have people who work in our operation who live here in Argo. We're a St. Clair County company. We own 2 landfills here in the county. Tomorrow morning I'll be at the St. Clair County Commission meeting. We've been for over 20 years awarding scholarships to 2 seniors from every public high school in St. Clair County every year, and I'll be there with the honor of doing that in the morning at 9 o'clock at the commission meeting. We've been doing free cleanups out here for the past 6 or 7 years, and those cleanups cost us anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 every time we do them. I know sometimes the thing gets in a mess down there, but that's kind of beyond our control. We can't pull the boxes after lunch on Saturday or on Sunday because the landfill's not open. Most times we schedule them to be pulled twice on the Saturday morning before the landfill closes. We pull them during the week. And the times that they were messed up, we sent our claw truck out here and cleaned up around them and got it up. So we do those things. I do beg to differ with my counterpart here. I do not think they are the lowest bid. They're the lowest bid on the residential only. And every other aspect of the bid, we're low bid on commercial, on the recycle container at the central location. We're low bid on all those things. And also, I don't know what disposal site that my competitor designated, but we designated our landfill. It's located here in St. Clair County, and for every ton, that goes into that landfill, we pay a royalty to the city of Moody and to St. Clair County for our landfill. So that money would be staying in county if you stay with us. We're not perfect. We've made some mistakes. We've had some things happen, but we bought 13 new trucks last year. We put a new truck out here in this community, and I think our service improved tremendously. There is some mismatched containers out there because we've been here a long time, and there's been several different companies that have owned the contract. The contract bid specs, I think the city attorney will verify, says that the containers will match according to the bid specifications. And if we're awarded the contract, then we'll replace the containers that don't match. Any containers that need replacement will be replaced, and they'll all be gray. We'll get rid of the green ones and the blue ones that we have out there. So we will follow the bid specifications and do that. So I just wanted to point those things out in our bid. I appreciate you folks having me here and giving me the opportunity to speak.
Any questions for Mr. Schultz?
No, but I would like to ask the other representative, since Mr. Rose brought that up, if they use a local dump. Are y'all located in Jefferson County or St. Clair, what county do y'all?
We dump at multiple landfills, like I believe, is it Star Ridge, I think is the one he's referencing. There's two that they have, that we have access. They're not the only haulers that use their landfills.
What?
Like, I'm sorry?
Which one do y'all use? Do you use?
There's two of them. I don't really do the landfill part, but whichever one is closest to here is where we would go, which is one of theirs. There's Star Ridge and another one. I don't know which one is closest.
They are located in St. Clair?
Yeah, they're in the, so your tons will stay in St. Clair County. Our office is in Tarrant, our customer service is in Tarrant, so we're not far away, but we're not in St. Clair. At 25 years of one company having everything, it's been very hard for y'all to have any other options.
Ms. Brown, and Mr. Barnett, I think there's requirements in there that they had to state where the disposal was going. So I think that question can be answered by reviewing their bid and seeing exactly where it was stated that their garbage would go. I have a letter from our landfill saying that we have over 30 years of airspace left with the capability of accepting the waste. We own the landfill. It's, you know, the landfill's not going anywhere. It'll be there.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We're gonna do that, and just start over. I'll sanitate, all said that they didn't meet requirements, and we relaxed the requirements, we can't, we put it back.
So what is this council's decision on?
Well, I think we need to look over this more. I'd like for us to have a meeting
And Mayor,
to discuss this.
you all can certainly do that, and I would recommend that you have time to look over it, digest it, determine what's what. You don't necessarily have to have a special call meeting, but you can certainly do that at your option. That's certainly something that's available to the council to vote on. But you can certainly come up here individually, review the bid packages, and more informed at the next meeting.
I'm absolutely not prepared tonight to take a vote on
You
something
can,
that's.
again, the other option obviously is to vote tonight. That's your option. But I realize that not everybody has reviewed the bid packages.
Y'all have not reviewed the bid package? You did? Ronnie?
I do.
You did. What about you? You did?
I did. What, if we push this back and that cause this thing to go past May 1st, what do we do then? Do we have to throw it out and rebid it?
But it won't. Look at the calendar.
No, that's not a decision that would cause you to have to rebid it. No, absolutely.
Well, my question.
Other people didn't bid it because of the requirement for May the 1st start of it. And I'll say, and they asked to have an extension. I told them we couldn't do it as far as I know. So, you know, they can say they didn't get a fair bid if we outbid somebody else.
If I'm looking at my calendar right, from
6 weeks is still
March 26th and
got
the
time.
first is 6 weeks. So even if we take a vote March 26th, we're still 6 weeks.
Which is, when is the next council meeting?
26.
We won't just do that then.
I would feel more comfortable in giving everybody an opportunity to really review them.
I feel like, We're gonna put you
I
under
make
the
a
gun
motion.
now if we're gonna keep this open.
I'm just asking as quickly as you can. 6 weeks is the bare minimum. If there's a hiccup at the manufacturer or some city like Miami is in line ahead of us, that clogs things up. 6 weeks is the barest naked minimum.
And we could always call a special meeting. That's what this council desires.
Yeah, I would like to find out what the breakdown is between residential and commercial, as best as we can determine,
We've
so
got-
that we can,
So little commercial that it's not gonna make that much.
well, that's what I want.
I counted, we got 1,200 residential, and we haven't got 100 commercial, what do you think?
Do we have,
He can tell us, he's won't.
I was
We,
gonna ask
we
you
don't
that.
have 1,200 customers out here. There's only 800 and some odd customers out here on the service now.
Our sheet said 1,200, so
I think that was
that's just not all of them are participating, it's about what it amounts to.
an estimate, yeah.
1,200 residents, 400 probably not using.
Do y'all want to make a decision tonight, or do we want to, does somebody want to make that motion that we table it?
I make a motion, we table this issue and discuss again on March 26th.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowell?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Thank y'all, appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have our police report, Captain Ben Wells.
That's not the on my nose.
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Chief, will you
This is an imposter. It's not.
Let me reflect that, this is going to be our chief, Downey.
For the month of February, we had 19 misdemeanor reports, had 15 motor vehicle accidents, 18 false alarms, 11 domestic violence, answered 77 911 calls, had 395 patrol requests, had 4,428 business checks, had 27 calls to I-59, had 9 driver's license violations, 5 of which was revoked, had 2 DUIs, had 9 drug arrests, had 1,072 calls for the month of February. Busy month of February.
Valentine's for you.
Yeah. Domestic violence should get in.
Women.
Does anyone have any questions for Chief Downey? Thank you, Chief Downey. Next, we have our fire report, Interim Chief Scott Payne.
For the month of February, we had one brush fire, 37 medical calls, 5 motor vehicle accidents, 2 power lines down, and 3 other types of calls. I have a few updates. The fire damage in the bay this week, me and Casey worked with the insurance people some more. We're still working with that, hopefully finalizing all of that. ESO software, now that it's up and going, we got to catch all those reports back up from January, so everybody's slowly doing that. We have posted and have started getting applications in for the 2 part-time positions open. And smoke detector installation, we have 2 bids that came in for that. I know we've turned those in. I put the other one on there, but I don't know why I didn't go on there. Another update is, I know some things were asked. We do have some smoke detectors coming in that we will start, when people call and need them, we will start installing. Those will work Saturday. Fire College is a grant program. We have 50 coming.
Is these the smoke detectors that the governor was talking about,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
each city?
Ordered them Saturday. They give you 50, and you go out and they want you to install them though. They won't let you just give them out because you do paperwork and we're making sure we put them in the right spots. And after you use the 50, if you want to work it, they come in increments of 50.
So all our citizens have to do is be call in?
Just call the station. Once we get them, and then we'll go out and take care of them.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question. what outlets could we possibly use to get those, get that information out to our citizens that we do have them and they're available?
Well, once they get here, I've talked to Lieutenant Marino, we're gonna put it on Facebook. Once we get them here and in hand and ready to go.
Okay. Do you have a timeline on when they may come?
Next week or so, that's what they gave me.
Good.
But it's only 50, right?
The first time, once you use those 50 up,
Okay, okay.
they want you to use the first 50 first, just, and have the documentation that you did them.
That's good.
Any other questions for the chief? Thank you, Scott. Next is our road report. Ronnie Bowman, Corky Massey.
We had 2 complaints. I looked them over. They're both on Ann's, at your street. The entrance of your street, we don't own your street yet, and
No,
it's up to county right away. We need to talk to the county about doing
I
that.
will say this, I've already had Tommy contact the county and send them the complaints. We had a couple of complaints. One was a ditch that needed to be cleaned on Argo Margaret, and the one that's by her subdivision. So those has already been reported to the
And
county.
then striping on
Um,
Argo Road, they said, and that's 2 or 3 times I've heard that.
Yeah, all that stuff, anything that's signed to the county, y'all get a copy of it, and then Tommy usually goes ahead and faxes the county a copy of it.
Not to interrupt with that, but I did see Dan Dalkey at the floodplain meeting last week, and he did say that they were coming to, they were going to be striping them.
Okay. And we can combine that with the, we've agreed to meet, if you can too, one afternoon this week, to decide if we can cut off some of these roads, so that we can save a little money for that bridge that we're gonna have to do something with. I do any day between.
Yeah, y'all don't have to, y'all don't need me, but if you,
Well, the more of us
if you
there, the
ask me,
better.
I'll be glad to.
Well, I'm asking, the more of us that look at it, the less likely there is to be disagreement about what we should have cut off and what we shouldn't cut off. I want this to be a team effort.
I had a question, but it's about Highway 11. There's a couple of places just from Argo Margaret down, where limbs have broken off and they're hanging on other limbs, but they're not attached. Is that the state that has to clear that? What, do y'all know what process we go through to get in touch with whoever?
Okay,
state that-
it'd be on if it's on this side of the.
If it's on St. Clair County
Park,
side,
Yeah, okay. So when you street guys
I know
will
someone.
You got someone up there?
Yeah,
So Corky, you're gonna take care of that?
yeah.
I just know if
And,
they caught a good wind or that other limb broke, we could have a limb on top of somebody's car.
Well,
Yeah. The other thing that had to do with seeing Dan was that we need to decide about that Katy Lane, obviously, and about those roads, because
May will be here quick.
yeah, end of May, beginning of June, they're gonna be out paving roads, and they're not gonna, I mean, I basically confirmed with Dan, you had some conversation with him.
Yeah.
They're not gonna call us and say, you know,
They won't let us go out there then and pick and choose and slow them down. They won't be doing what they're doing.
So if y'all don't mind, when y'all get together, do y'all's list, and at the next meeting, y'all bring it to the council as to which roads y'all feel like we're
We
gonna.
can cut back some.
yeah, we gotta look, because
We just haven't got the money to do it. If we got no way of knowing what Katy Lane's gonna cost us, but it's something we're obligated to do. And so we're gonna pull back on some of the roads a little bit if we can. And then catch some next year. We're not gonna let them pile up like this again either. That's my thought.
We have not had
Do a
any.
few every year instead
We
of
got the money.
not doing any for 10 years and then all of a sudden having them all to do.
yeah.
I think you're right. Anything else on the roads? Okay, next is our food bank report, Jim Lee.
Don't have anything.
EDC invoice. If you look in your packet, there was, our invoice came in for the EDC, and we need to decide if we're going to continue on with the EDC. That's $3,000.
I see they gave us a nice letter first and then the bill.
So we need to have, if we're going to continue, I need someone to make a
I make the
motion.
motion to approve the expenditure of $3,000 for EDC.
Do I hear a second? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Next is a CCI invoice for $6,301.25. And I'm not sure if this was, Tony, could you tell me, enlighten me on this, since you've been handling this? Is this a part of the original agreement?
It is under Phase 3 construction documents. There, at the time of this invoice, it says they're 75% complete. The budget was $6,000, which would amount to $4,500 in actual dollar figures. They had previously invoiced $1,500, so the current due is $3,000. The remainder of it is in, or not the remainder, but the next biggest part is in bidding and contracts, which is an hourly budget of $7,000, and they completed $2,930 to date, and they had previously invoiced nothing in that category. So those two items is $5,930, and then I think there's some reimbursables in there for travel.
So this is the correct amount?
It is. It's all underneath the,
And we've already voted on this, so we don't have to do this again?
that's what I understand, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to bring this to your everyone's attention.
Okay, and following on that, you had some news for us.
Yeah, while we're on that, I gave Casey a set of plans for the construction documents for the building, signed and sealed. I've also got an electronic file that I need to forward to her. And the thing will actually be ready to go to bid next Tuesday or Wednesday. I just got an estimate for advertising between the Trustful Tribune and the Birmingham News. I think it was, the total was $400 to $500 to advertise that bid. Yeah, that's combined. And Civil Consultants recommended that they actually do the advertisement themselves, so that we got one person handling it, and they will pay for it, and then they will, of course, charge us back for that advertising.
Is that the normal way that they do that?
It's a less confusing.
Yeah,
We get out of it.
it can be done either way, but it's better if one person handles it, in my opinion.
That was the same method that we use for advertising the solid waste bid too. So, reimbursement process.
Okay.
It was $450 to $500. That was for the Trustful Tribune and the Birmingham News.
All right, so that was the bill.
That was
Whatever.
the storm shelter. Second part.
Before we get off that,
Oh.
Casey, when he sends you those bid documents, can you pass them on to us?
Yes.
Right.
Sure. Storm shelter. So we sent out a package to 3 architects to get, see who was interested in doing it, a request for qualifications. We had one of the architectural firms that sent us a letter back and said they appreciated our opportunity, but that due to backlog, they couldn't help us, so they turned us down. Then we submitted to a second, who we received their package, their qualifications package. And then the third architect, we had some issues with getting the package to them due to some bad email addresses that we were given. We did correct that, sent it back out to them. They asked for more time, and they have not submitted anything. So we've got basically one package from an architect. And I think that these guys were the ones that were most qualified on this particular type of project, or had done more of this particular type of project. And that's Adam Stewart Architects, and they're out of Robbinsdale. And I've printed their package out here if anybody wants to look at it. Basically, we had one qualified, or one person that sent the qualification package in.
Everybody's busy.
Yeah. So did they say they could get to it, or did they give us a timeline, or
Yep.
within what we had asked?
So they have the knowledge and the resources to see the project to completion.
And this is something we can negotiate, it's not a.
I think actually that all those things were outlined in the contract, or in in the grant itself, the fees for architecture, and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, percentage of
That's, we can negotiate with them instead of having to bid it out. Usually architects and engineers don't have to.
Yeah, you know, we got one of the engineers, and he's got a whole team, he's got landscape architecture, structural, MEP, the whole thing.
So, if there's a sole bidder, the bid law does allow you to negotiate prices with a sole bidder, that's helpful. I would agree that normally professional services you can negotiate with. And I know that getting those, or sending those proposals out, or invitations out to bid, that's a requirement under the grant, obviously. But I think that if you didn't, as long as the price that they're quoting is not in excess of what the grant allows, then I think you're okay to negotiate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So did you have a chance to look through we forwarded their package? I mean, just what is it? I guess what does everybody want to do? We got one package.
Will you make a motion if that's what you're?
Well, yeah, I want to make a motion, but I want to hear everybody's thoughts on it first, since we haven't had an opportunity to review it.
But there's no requirement except from the grant. There's no legal requirement except for the grant that you receive those others back. You did send it out accordingly. You allowed others to bid on it, and so you're clear to vote on that entity.
We do our due diligence.
Yeah.
About what it matters to.
You gonna make that motion, John?
So them numbers are within the grant numbers?
Yeah, it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, believe me, but if I'm not mistaken, it is actually a price that was agreed on as part of the grant. And according to the attorney, we can actually negotiate those.
I would ask this. The advertisement or the request for proposals, did it actually say, this is in fact the price that, this is that actual percentage? That would be something I would want to know, so that you didn't say that this is.
Spell out how much they were going to be.
Spell out in the bid request, then if you did
You
that.
want to give him the opportunity to look over that, Tony, before we bid on it? Make sure.
Yeah, what I would like to do is I would like to get everyone's approval, go ahead and let these guys get started. Subject to the attorney looking through it and not having any issues with it.
I'll be happy to do that quickly, and what I'll do is I'll look at I'm assuming Tyler next week, advertise those?
No, this is actually the letter that you reviewed.
Okay, I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for the storm shelter.
That's right.
Yeah, and obviously, you're correct. Those percentages are outlined in the grant documents. There's nothing to say that you can't negotiate. So you can approve it subject to my review, but I have a feeling that you'll be able to negotiate if you need to.
Okay. So that makes sense. I would like to make a motion that we approve entering into contract with the architect subject to the attorney's review.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cohen?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes.
Mayor, just for clarification, keep in mind that the contract that'll come following that, you basically just approved it, and if I had my guess, architects 90% of the time use AIA approved documents as their form documents in their industry, so it's sort of a canned agreement, the standard, so you'll know. It'll not be something I'll be drafting.
Everyone understand that?
And as far as negotiating, we're not in a position to negotiate, are we? We've got one person interested, well, bonds from anybody else.
You can negotiate, is my point, unless I find something to the contrary. I don't anticipate to find that.
I mean, you're not saying that we can negotiate the price down, you're saying that we can deal with
I'm saying that it's the potential that you can negotiate the hourly or the percentage price down.
So you need to take this package and the grant and review that and see if there's any stumbling blocks to us
That's correct.
actually,
Actually doing that. And once I confirm that's the case, then whoever's dealing with the architects, I'm assuming it'll be that.
Tony.
Right, then I'll just confirm, I'll send you an email saying that I've confirmed that, or I'll give you that feedback.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I ask this is because we're trying to keep this on pace with this project at City Hall. We don't want it to get behind because
We've got
the work.
Yeah. So you think you can get that back here pretty fast?
Pretty fast. Should take long to review.
And we've already given him the approval, so once he reviews it, then Tony can go with it. Okay, next on the agenda is the confirming of a full-time chief, Heath Smith. I think everybody got to meet him except Ronnie. And Ronnie, he's here tonight if you would like to meet him. But we right now Scott is in that position. He's been doing a very good job of doing that. But Mr. Smith is going to have time to turn in, work out a notice. So, what is the council's?
Introducing.
Scott, do you want to introduce?
Mayor, council, this is Heath Smith. We talked to all the other officers from the fire department. We do recommend him, and I think he'll do a great job for us.
Thank you, Scott. Mr. Smith, would you like to say anything?
Sure. First off, I'd like to thank the mayor and council for the opportunity to even be considered for such a prestigious position. Winston Churchill once said that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And I think that embodies the fire service as a whole. Fire services is all about giving back to the citizens. It's about taking care of those that reside and visit the community. So with that, with the confirmation of me tonight, if all goes well, I just want to kind of list out for you the 5 things that I ensure and promise, not only to mayor and council, but also to the citizens that are here tonight and those that can't be with us. Those key principles are excellence, never accepting anything less than the absolute best that we can provide for those citizens. Service, fire department's not, it's not what the fire department can get from the citizens, but yet what we can give back to those citizens. Pride, and that's to take pride in the equipment and serve, all the equipment that's been provided to us. It's the citizens' tax dollars that pay for that, and it's important for me and all the guys back there to take pride in that and treat it as if it was our own. Honor, it's honor for the fire department to even have the opportunity to serve those citizens. We'll never forget those that paid the ultimate sacrifice before us. That's something that we'll keep near and dear within the Argo Fire Department. Integrity, firefighters are inherently trusted by the citizens. There's not another profession in the world that you can be away on vacation, you get a call that, hey, something's going on at your house, and you pick the phone up and call the fire department and say, yes, please go in. Please do what you can to help my house or my baby or whatever the case may be. And so that's a trust that the citizens place in the fire department. And I will do everything to ensure that integrity and that level of trust is maintained. In closing, again, if this confirmation is done, I just want to let the citizens know if I can ever be of assistance to you guys in any way, shape, form, or fashion, the door is open. Please, by all means, come visit. Any concerns, anything that you might have for me, please bring that forward and we'll work to resolve it, okay? So thank you again for the consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay, does the council want to confirm the hiring?
I'll make the motion to confirm the mayor's hiring of the new chief.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, we didn't have a salary in there.
The salary is Right now, what we would like to hire him in as is the same salary as the former chief was making before he went on hourly, what was in the budget. Casey, what was that amount? Do you remember?
44.
What was that amount, Casey? Do you remember?
Let's see, we have 48,151.14, and then with benefits, it was the 63,860.43.
There was some, would you like to add that to your motion?
All that too.
Okay, second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Abstain.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes.
These are the times we put our clerk at a real test.
Congratulations, Mr. Smith. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is City Hall closing on April the 12th for court regional seminar. Both Tommy and Casey will be gone for their court. They have to go once a year. Casey will be gone 2 days because she has to take her magistrate's test. And Corky, I'm sorry, not Corky. Tommy will have to be, he will be back on the 13th, but City Hall will be closed on the 12th because both of them has to go.
Do you think I'm on the mayor's mind, son?
You make too much noise over here. Okay, would someone like to make that motion that we shut down City Hall for the 12th?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Next is the employee pay for part-time chief. We, at the last meeting, Scott stepped up and said that he would be our interim chief until one was found. But we never set a pay scale for him.
I appreciate him donating his time.
So, right, the former chief working part-time was making $23.14 an hour. He has stayed on for the last 2 weeks. His last day will be Wednesday. That pay period to kind of transition Scott into it. So, what is y'all's thought?
Motion to pay the same 23.
$23.14 is what he was making,
I'll
and
make the motion.
Fair to me. Second.
this is with the raise. He got 22, but then after they got the raise, that brought it up to $23.14. Okay,
So we're discussing what we'll pay.
Scott part-time until.
Scott Chief.
yes, until the chief,
I understand. Thanks.
until the full-time chief comes in, Scott's going
He's
to
got to work
be.
out his 2 weeks' notice.
It was a 2-week notice, Mr. Smith, right?
Yes,
What's
ma'am.
the difference in Chief Platt's full-time pay and Chief Scott's full-time pay?
Oh, he didn't work?
He's not full-time and.
No, right, they're part-time.
Scott, are you happy with the 23s?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that is the problem.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowan?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Abstain.
Councilperson Massey?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Okay, next is our our attorney's report on solid waste bid.
And Mayor, that has been discussed. I will answer any questions you may have. I can, read parts of the basic bid if you want, but otherwise we can wait to discuss it at the next meeting. You should just choose it.
And that's the reason I put it on there in case anyone had any questions.
I think we need to, I think I made sure that they did understand that they would be under the gun to get us. Yes, you did. And that's their competition would be having to take over for them, and they're not likely to want to. So we need to be sure, and like I said, if Advanced is losing the contract, they're not going to want to cover for these people if they can't be in by the 1st of May.
I understand.
I see
So
what you're saying.
we're gonna have to hold their feet to the fire if we award it to them, or we're gonna have to rebid it because some of the other people couldn't meet the time frame either. So we can't start letting
Right, I
everybody
understand.
slip.
I totally
You know,
agree.
They gotta meet the contract
But
requirements.
the March 26th meeting to May 1st gives them 6 weeks.
Yeah, but, she's already,
Right. Back at them.
so like I said, we gotta be businesslike about it.
And since we've actually received these, anybody that wants to review those bids can review them. Is that correct? Or are they-
Yeah, they're open record now. Absolutely. And, yes, after the bid opened, was it the 9th, right? And it was from this, public availability, so
And they're in Casey's office in case anybody wants to see them.
there's only one copy of it so far, just FYI. Because they're pretty sizable.
Yeah, their books. Any further questions for the attorney?
But all the really relevant stuff is in this bid results that we have, the contract. Yes, as long as, and I haven't looked at the packages myself, but as long as the bonds are there, and I'm assuming they are, then yes, this is the most relevant information that you can make your decision on. As a whole, I would assume that they're proven financial liability and those kind of things that they're required to do. That's all in this that I'm looking at.
Anyone else with a question? Okay, next is the mayor's report. We had a hot water heater emergency repair went out. It's cost us $2,400 to fix that. Scott, do you remember what size that was? Was it 24?
I don't know, I don't know what size, I'm gonna look.
Anyway, it was $2,400. So we had to get that repair, get a new one. They could not. The one that we had, they could not find parts for it, and it was gonna cost us, a lot to get it fixed. So you just went ahead and replaced it. It's $2,400.
Was it actually a tank, or was it one of those tanks?
Tankless. Mhm. Okay,
So that just comes out of the building budget.
okay, next we have, received our packet from census. Working on that, the computer came in, Alan has it set up. He has started, we've got our things from the county, our E911, and our list and everything from them. So we're hoping the next week or so, we're going to start verifying addresses, trying to get that in order. We have 120 days once we receive that packet. We received the packet on the 6th, so the time started now for us to get all that together, and we've been working on that. Okay, also the transfer of $10,212.80 into the PD equipment fund. This was the fund that we all agreed that that money needed to be put in that because.
Two parts.
Well, we're doing it in 3 parts. The first part was the 12.
Okay.
With the $10,212.80, that gives us 20 more thousand we've gonna put in there. So we're hoping to start putting that in there. But the first installment was put in last week or this week?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I will do it this week.
Okay. And we all agreed that we were going to put that money back. Okay. Next is our property notice letter for 8885 Gaston Road. It's in your packet. It has not been sent out yet. It's for your review. I would like you to review it, and then at the next meeting.
I didn't get that.
Did everybody get one in their packet?
Do we need clarification on the specific violation of the lease agreement?
You got it. If y'all were prepared to vote tonight, if everyone's already read it, we can vote tonight and go ahead and send this or not. Or we can postpone it if you have not had a chance to read it.
I've read it, I just have a question about it. There's a paragraph there where it's talking about the leasee being not in compliance with the.
Are we supposed to discuss this in further? The only exception would be if this issue were to imminently cause a claim or litigation against the city, otherwise, yes. I don't know of any other exception to the law that would allow us to go into executive session.
I think the paragraph that I'm referring to is a safety issue, but it wasn't specifically spelled out that it was
It don't need to be.
handle or sale.
Several, we
So
don't
it
need to spell
doesn't
out,
have
it
to
needs
be-
to just get,
Okay,
And-
it can be in general.
the reason, and there's madness behind the math, the reason it was not specific is because if there's, many times if there's one, there could be others, depending on the inspection, what the inspection calls out. So without actually knowing, we know that one for sure,
Okay.
because it's visible. But others may, for instance, improper footing, there may be something that is not visible.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and send that tonight.
Make a motion to send it.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Cowell?
Yes.
Councilperson Bowman?
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Aldridge?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Bradley?
Yes. Next, I'm sure y'all got in your mailboxes our 2018 convention, May the 19th through the 22nd. If you plan on attending, you need to call and go ahead and get registered for that. I think there's a deadline. It starts out at 400 and goes all the way up to 475 for any late registers. So you might want to check get your mail, look in there, and if you're interested in going, go ahead and get registered for that.
Most recently.
No, it's fine. Any comments from the council?
How did we choose the contractor that fixed the water heater?
It's the same person that we've always used here. Tommy called and he had him come out to check the thing, and then he called to find out what everybody else was charging. And he said that
Okay, well, I just wanted, everybody know it's my cousin, but I didn't have anything to do with it.
yeah, no, you had nothing to do with it. I didn't have nothing to do
It
with
was
it.
already in place before I
No.
got here.
I didn't have nothing to do with it either.
I just realized.
That's who we've always used for our heating and air here. And Tommy called him, he came out, and then he said, he tried to get a part for it, couldn't get the part. So then he suggested we go ahead and replace it.
We already know you're kin to everybody around here.
Okay, any comments from the council?
Forward after me for that.
Any comments from the council?
I'm so happy to be here, I can't stand it.
Did anyone sign the book?
One signature, Courtney Meadows.
Hey, come on in, Courtney.
Hey, it's been a long time. I'm Courtney Meadows, and I'm here on behalf of the Argo Teen Council.
Oh, we have a council. Good, good. We took you off this week because nobody was ever showing up.
Sorry, it's been a busy senior year. But I was just curious if this Sunday, or I was going to seek y'all's approval, if we could have a Argo community food drive to benefit the food bank that's here. Maybe somewhere outside of I think it's Zebra Stitches over there, maybe from 12 to 2, just so we could restock the food bank.
That would be fantastic.
Okay.
I don't think anybody would have any objections to
Where do you
that.
want to have it?
It's in the Zebra Stitches down there.
Oh,
Just out there, and anybody who's love.
I know the landlord I'll talk to.
How many members do y'all have now, Courtney?
I'm thinking a solid 5. We have some people who come occasionally because they want to help out, but I think 5 people are for sure they're here to help anytime.
Okay. When were you going to do that? Did you have a date yet?
This Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You want to stick that on? Our food bank president's here, Jim Link. Jim Link, would you like to add anything to what she's having to say?
No, just thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Spread the word, everyone, that she's having a food drive down there. That was the only name on there?
Mayor, it's been requested that there be an executive session. As I understand it, the topic would be